Hello, my name is Levente Dojcsak, and I'm a PhD student in computer science from the University of Tennessee. And I'll be presenting our work on overcoming data science challenges in health disparities research. So one of the major topics of our study is pregnancy-related maternal mortality, which is beginning to be studied in the context of the totality of a person's environmental exposures over their lifetime and the effects that these exposures have on specific health outcomes, otherwise known as the exposome. This exposome framework has been put to use by studying PRM rates in conjunction with the Public Health Exposome, which is a database for the collection, curation, and study of heterogeneous environmental data. Some of the biggest problems that we deal with large data such as this is noise and multicollinearity. There are fairly straightforward tools for dealing with noise in big data sets, so we want to focus on the latter of these problems. Multicollinearity is particularly persistent since measurements found in the PHE can be highly similar due to similar measurements taken over multiple timeframes or by multiple agencies. Multicollinearity can muddy results also found by traditional analyses such as regression as well as machine learning. In this project, we present a method to reduce the presence of multicollinearity via the use of minimum dominating set, MDS, which is the smallest set of vertices in a graph that are adjacent to all other vertices. I have an example of one of these graphs here. The red nodes represent the minimum dominating set, but I'll explain shortly how we create these graphs and use MDS in more detail. So the first step of this process is pre-processing. So to the PHE data, we applied a series of traditional steps for data harmonization, cleaning, and noise abatement. And we also applied dummy coding wherever applicable. So whenever we see categorical variables, we convert those using dummy coding. We also remove variables with a large proportion of missing values. The threshold over this is usually 40% or greater missing values. In addition, we remove variables with no variance or with a very near zero variance. And then the data is also normalized to reduce the effects of outliers. So before we can apply MDS, we want to construct a similarity graph. So we do this by calculating Pearson's R correlations pairwise between all variables. So imagine that each node in the graph is a feature or variable from the process data set, and each edge, each line connecting those nodes represents a correlation metric. So in order to apply MDS, we only care about variables that are highly correlated. So we use a threshold of 0.9 for Pearson, which has been shown as an indicator of autocorrelation. And then we also use textual similarity from a data dictionary to further narrow down these results. And we use cosine similarity as a metric for this. Then we identify the smallest set of representative variables to describe this subset of the data. So this is the minimum dominating set. So we've created the graph where the nodes represent variables. So the red variables is the smallest set that's basically a representation for this subset of the data. And when we go to complete the data set, we want to actually keep the MDS variables and we want to drop the variables that they are connected to. So we apply this workflow to a subset of the PHE from 2014 to 2018. The graph on the left shows the distribution of variable correlations before pre-processing and MDS was applied. As you can see, there's a heavy right tail in the distribution, which is a very strong indicator of multicollinearity. And after applying MDS and the pre-processing, this right tail mostly disappears. So this reduction not only led to crisper results for associations between exposures and pregnancy-related maternal mortality, but we also see better results in our downstream analyses when we begin to apply other clustering algorithms to the graphs that we create. And one other nice feature of this method is that it is data agnostic, and so it can be applied to other problem domains as well. And references are listed at the bottom right of the poster. Thank you.